Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Said yesterday in my video, the portal giveth and the portal taketh away. But so far this spring portal, all it's done is taketh away. The Vols are now losing their second defensive back in the portal. You see here on Twitter, Tennessee defensive back Christian Charles is entering the transfer portal. He tells Rivals Friedman over his last 30 games with the Vols, Charles has only allowed one touchdown according to Pro Football Focus. Now, Christian Charles went to Twitter, said, beyond grateful for my time as a Vol. Knoxville has been great to me. I'm thankful for my time spent, but I think it's time to do what's best for me and my family. I will forever bleed orange, GBO. I think this is very similar to John Slaughter entering the transfer portal. Just a guy looking for an opportunity, a guy who wants to play ball. He's been banged up through his entire career at Tennessee. Finished his time at Tennessee with 71 tackles, 3 TFLs, a pass breakup, and 1 blocked punt. He's got a year of eligibility left. Hopefully he gets healthy and finds a spot. Didn't go through spring camp because he's been banged up, but just like John Slaughter, man, best of luck to Christian Charles wherever he ends up. I think this is one of those circumstances where you're pulling for this kid. You're hoping things work out for Christian Charles. Now, when are we going to land something in the portal? When is the portal going to giveth instead of taketh away? Of course, priority is quarterback. I think Tennessee is going to have a hard time adding a wide receiver right now until you answer this question mark at quarterback. How do you find the right guy? How do you find the right fit? A guy that's not going to cause issues in that locker room, in that quarterback room. You know, I've already seen the rumors out there that Jake Merklinger could be looking to work a new deal, which, you know, it makes sense. Why would he not? If he's making that transition to QB1, then he probably deserves a bump in pay. But where are the Vols looking in the transfer portal? We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. But as always, you guys already know the deal. I need you to help me out. Do the YouTube stuff. Smash the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click that bell for notifications so you don't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. I think because of everything going on, we're going live tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Come hang out. We're going to break down the portal. We're going to look at some targets. We're going to go through some rumors. There is more Nico drama. So come show up tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. If you like what we do and want to really support, hit that join button down below. You can become a member of the channel for just $1. Keeps the lights on and allows us to continue to move forward, bringing you Tennessee football content every single day. But let's go take a look at a potential target in the transfer portal. Could this be Tennessee's next starting quarterback? On 3 puts it out. Breaking. Notre Dame QB Steve Angeli plans to enter the transfer portal. Pete Nakos reports. Now, let's go take a look at Steve Angeli, quarterback at Notre Dame, 6'2", 205-pound junior. He was a 3-star prospect coming out of high school. He's also listed as a 3-star prospect in the transfer portal. He's thrown for less than 1,000 yards in his career. Just a 2-year career, but still he's thrown for less than 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns to 1 interception. But most people know who Steve Angeli is. Most people are circulating this rumor and saying that he would be a fit because of what he did in the college football playoff. This is directly from the article over at On 3 talking about when Steve Angeli entered his name in the portal. This is what it says. It says for 3 seasons, Steve Angeli gave everything he had with one goal in mind, becoming the starting quarterback at Notre Dame. In the end, it wasn't enough. Angeli has entered the transfer portal, according to On3's Pete Nakos, with 2 years of eligibility remaining. He exits. His exit leaves junior Kenny Minchie and sophomore C.J. Carr to compete for the starting quarterback job. It goes on to say during his time in South Bend, Angeli left his mark on the Notre Dame football program. First, he quarterbacked the Irish to a 40-8 victory in the 2023 Sun Bowl. Later in the Orange Bowl against Penn State, Angeli stepped in for an injured Riley Leonard and led a 2-minute field goal drive to end the first half. During that drive, he went 6 for 7 for 44 yards and pulled the Irish within 1 score of the Nittany Lions. Notre Dame likely would not have made it to the national championship game without Angeli's contributions. I think that's where a lot of people remember Steve Angeli. And, you know, I've seen people talk about it. I saw somebody tweet out, could this be Tennessee's next Hendon Hooker? Can he step in and compete for that starting job? Is that something he's willing to do? I can guarantee you this, Tennessee is picking up the phone and they are making phone calls. They are reaching out. They are trying to find somebody to come into this quarterback room. But again, is it the right fit? Does it make sense? Does Steve Angeli give you confidence? 3-star you, Boogie, he's thrown for less than 1,000 yards. He's done nothing. What does Greg McElroy think about Steve Angeli? I think Greg McElroy knows a little something about the quarterback position. Let's go over and let's take a listen to what he had to say about the quarterback from Notre Dame.
I've seen Steve Angeli thrust into action against a ferocious pass rush in Penn State and one of the best defenses in the country. I saw Steve Angeli go into the lineup and just methodically, right down the field, accurately carving up a defense. Who's to say that Steve Angeli's ceiling, when the real lights are on, isn't outrageously high? We've seen him make one start, and it was a couple years ago. What if, when we fast forward to this year, Steve Angeli has some awakening, and all of a sudden he's the second coming of Joe Burrow? You remember now, Joe Burrow at Ohio State was just a guy. In his first year at LSU, he was just a guy. Well, Steve Angeli, up to this point of his career, solid, just a guy. But maybe there's another level in there that we just don't know about. Because when the game flipped in Joe Burrow's final season, when he got a chance to run an offense that was built for him, look what happened. Maybe that's in there for Steve Angeli.
What are your thoughts on Steve Angeli? Is he just another guy, or do you see something there? You know, when Greg McElroy's making that comparison to Joe Burrow, I don't know that that would apply here because he's transferring, right? He's not in that same system. He's not in that same offense. He's not comfortable. He's going to have to come in, learn an entire new system under Josh Heupel. And, oh, by the way, he's only going to have the summer and fall camp to get into this offense and get into this playbook. But that was one of the hot rumors. There's a lot of names floating out there. So I ask you guys, jump in the comment section. Let me know who your eyes are on. Some of the names that have been thrown out. Sam Levitt is a hot rumor. Avery Johnson is another hot rumor. Wyatt Becker, the quarterback at Utah, has been thrown out there. Damon Williams, quarterback at Washington. We saw the Instagram post with an orange emoji and a couple of question marks. Is that real or is that fake? I don't know. It's 2025. You got to dig and you got to research to figure out what is actually true on the internet. What about Rocco Beck? That's the hot rumor, the quarterback at Iowa State. Tennessee's private jet down there in Tampa. Somebody tweets it out. Oh, do you know who lives in Tampa? Rocco Beck. Off go the rumors. Everybody's talking about it. Well, we've already talked about this. The jet was down there to meet with a donor, had nothing to do with Rocco Beck, but that's still a hot name, a name that everybody is throwing out there. And that's okay. That's what we do here. For the fans, by the fans means something. We speculate. We talk about internet rumors. And here's another internet rumor. This is one that I wanted to bring to your attention. And he's not even in the portal, but this is a name that is being thrown out there. This is a name that certain people are saying, keep your eyes on Luke Altmire, the quarterback at Illinois. Now, let's take a look at who he is. 6'2", 205-pound senior, four-star quarterback coming out of high school. Spent 2 seasons at Ole Miss before he actually transferred to Illinois. Started 9 games as a redshirt sophomore in 2023. 175 for 270 passing, over 1,800, almost 1,900 yards, and 13 passing touchdowns, while also rushing for 282 yards on the season. Last year as a junior at Illinois, he started all 13 games, led Illinois to a 10-3 record, tying the program's single-season wins record. Last year, 60%, almost 61% completion percentage, threw for over 2,700 yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, added 217 yards on the ground, and had 4 touchdowns rushing as well. All Big Ten honorable mention. Davey O'Brien Award class of 2024 is one of the top 35 quarterbacks in college football. Now, this is a guy I think could come in and compete for the starting job, but is this guy even going to enter the portal? Again, we're talking about rumors. We're talking about internet rumors, message board rumors. But you go back and look at the bio. This is his bio from the 2024 season. One of the most efficient passers in the nation with 21 touchdown passes, only 5 interceptions. Only quarterback in the nation with 3 game-winning touchdown passes in the final 2 minutes or overtime. Only quarterback in the nation with 4 touchdown passes in a top 25 road win during the regular season. And 3 top 25 victories during the regular season. He totaled 560 yards of offense, 65.7% completion percentage, 6 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. And, you know, that's something a lot of people wanted to talk about last year. Look at Nico's numbers when we're saying, hey, I think Nico can take a step. I think he could take a step in 2025. A lot of people said, Boogie, look at the competition. Look who he did it against. Well, you look at Luke Altmire, and he did it against top 25 competition, and he also did it against top 25 competition on the road. But, again, that's just a rumor. That's just talk. But Steve Angeli is officially in the portal. Tennessee, I'm sure, has reached out. Does he have interest? What are your thoughts on Steve Angeli? What are your thoughts on these other rumors? Where does Tennessee go from here? They have to answer these quarterback questions sooner rather than later. I don't think we're going to be able to add a wide receiver in that wide receiver room until we solve the question at quarterback. But what are your thoughts? Show them in the comment section. Let's talk about it. As always, smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. I would greatly appreciate it. You can also go check out our official Talkin VAWLS merchandise at bonfire.com/store/Talkin Vols. We got brand new Nike themed merch. We got golf quarter zips, golf polos. We got a shirt that says Buck Fama. If that's too offensive for you, we also have one that says Beat Bama. We have one that says FUGA. We also have one that says Beat Georgia. Go check it out. Links are in the description. But that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin Vols Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.